Hi, this is CA Apurva Jaisimha and you're with me on G for GST, a YouTube channel exclusively dedicated to GST. We have content ranging from bare basics to intricate nuances of the Act. After an overwhelming response to our previous video on different types of returns under GST, where we just got into a basic introduction of returns under GST, why are they filed, what purposes do they serve, we have been flooded with repeated requests on doing return specific videos. So we are very glad to announce that we have a new series of videos coming up, each individually dealing with one type of return. So let's get started. The first of these return series, we will be discussing the infamously famous GSTR 3B return, the monthly return of tax payment. The most favorite return of the government, since obviously it results in tax revenues. GSTR 3B return whose delay is dreaded because of impending penalties and interest. GSTR 3B return whose non-filing for 6 continuous months would trigger cancellation provisions under Section 29 of the GST Act. The return which, if you do not file for 2 continuous months, would block you out of the e-way bill portal, essentially meaning that you yourself will not be able to generate an e-way bill, nor anybody would be able to generate the e-way bill against your GST number. And numerous are such different uncompromising measures imposed by the board to ensure a consistent, constant return filing of GSTR 3B, which definitely translates into steady flow of tax revenues into the government coffers. So we will first begin with a simple basic overview understanding of what is this GSTR 3B return. So like I said, GSTR 3B return is a monthly return of tax payment. So when is it due? GSTR 3B return is due on 20th of every month. Now this would be a gross understatement. Firstly, GSTR 3B return is applicable only for regular taxpayers, which means those people who are functioning under the composition scheme, this return is not applicable to them. And secondly, gone are the days where the entire nation used to log into the GST portal exactly on 20th, crashing the whole system because GST portal cannot handle more than 1,50,000 taxpayers simultaneous logins. So the government decided that it would stagger the GSTR 3B due date to 20th, 22nd and 24th. Now, if you are a taxpayer with aggregate turnover exceeding 5 crore rupees, then obviously you have no choice but to ensure that your GSTR 3B return is filed on or before 20th of the subsequent month. But if you are a small taxpayer with turnover less than 5 crore rupees, then you have a breather. So your GSTR 3B return would be due either on 22nd or on 24th, depending upon which state you are located. So in this quick summary, as you can see, we have summarized as to what type of taxpayer you are, whether more than 5 crores or less than 5 crores, and in which state you are located, and when is your GSTR 3B return due. So for more information about real-time GSTR 3B returns or any other due date under income tax, MCA, PF, ESI, etc., please download the application Filing Hour. You will find it on the Play Store. So this GSTR 3B return has a lot to do with your sales and purchases, which are technically called outward supplies and inward supplies. Now sales, obviously because it is on your turnover that you will collect GST from your customers and pay to the government. Now what you are selling, how much you are selling and at what rate of GST are you imposing tax is all going to determine your gross GST liability on your turnover. Purchases, obviously because you will end up paying a lot of GST on different types of supplies that you buy from your suppliers. So you'll end up paying GST to them and you will accumulate the GST in the form of input tax credit and you deserve the benefit of set-off. So first let us run through how the portal looks and a basic overview of the return. So as you can see here, we have logged in to the GST portal. This is your basic screen that comes once you log in. So let's go to the return dashboard. Once you go to the return dashboard, you can select the year for which you want to file the return and the month for which you want to file the return. Not only for the purpose of filing this return, if you want to view any return that has already been filed as well, you can just log into the portal and select the said month and go ahead and view the returns which have been filed. So I am opening the return dashboard for the month of November. So once you open the return dashboard, all the returns that are applicable to you pops up in this section. So as you can see, this being a regular taxpayer return, GSTR 1 is applicable. 2A and 2B we will discuss at a later part of this video, and then 3B is applicable. As you can see, the returns have already been filed. So I am opening the return dashboard which has been filed. So since firstly I am going to give you just a basic overview of the return that has been filed, you can see the different boxes, the different sections that have opened up. So firstly, this part of the return, table 3.1 that you are seeing, exclusively deals with your sales and liabilities. So what are the liabilities of GST that is coming to you? You get a liability of GST on account of your sales that you make, as well as some instances of reverse charge. Reverse charge will be discussed separately. So this is your screen where you enter your liabilities arising on account of different types of sales that you have made, and also reverse charge liabilities that arise will have to be entered here. So once you enter your liabilities in this particular screen, on account of sales or on account of reverse charge, the portal will throw up what is your gross liability that has to be paid. And then next here, we will go to the ITC section of the return. Now, why is this appearing red in color is a separate story to be dealt with. But let us first go to this ITC return, ITC section. So the ITC section of the return basically deals with the different types of input tax credits that you will accumulate. You may accumulate input tax credit on account of imports made, on account of RCM paid, on account of any ISD returns that you have received, etc. So you enter your credits over here. Once you enter the credits over here, you save the 3B at this stage. So at this stage, the 3B return is going to show you the total liability that is due to be paid by you and the total input tax credit that you have accumulated. So the total liability minus the total input tax credit is what you will essentially end up paying through this particular tab, wherein the portal will show you how much balance is there in your electronic cash ledger as on date. Then it will show you how much credit you are sitting on, including my current month credit as well as the credit that I'm carrying forward from the last month. This is my summary of cash ledger balance available and credit ledger balance available. And this, the portal only auto-populates to be the total liability, the total ITC you have which you are utilizing to pay your liability, and the net amount of tax to be deposited through a challan. So since this is a filed return, this create challan option is grayed out. But in a normal return, you can simply enable this create challan option, go to the net banking or RTGS or NEFT as the case may be, deposit the money into the electronic cash ledger, and then make payment of GST and then proceed to file the return. So this is a simple basic understanding of what elements go into a GSTR 3B return. So at this stage, if you want me to summarize, I would say for the purposes of filing your GSTR 3B return, you would need information of your sales, total sales made, and how much is the liabilities that are arising on account of your sales, any credit notes issued to your customers, any debit notes issued to your customers. Similarly, you need information of your input tax credit, that is, how much GST you have paid, to whom you have paid, what is the invoice details through which you have paid. As a backup working, you would be needing that even at a later point of time. So compute your liability over here, compute your ITC over here. The system will tell you how much ITC you already have from the past month and the total ITC available to you in the given month. And then the system only will tell you what input tax credit can be used against what liability. So more often than not, people get confused as to whether I can use CGST against SGST or I can use IGST against CGST, and if so, in what order should that be used? And considering the repeated changes also on this front, a layman does not basically have a total understanding of this utilization mechanism. So in order to avoid any kind of errors by the taxpayers, the system itself computes and gives you the best method of utilizing the available input tax credit, which is also in line with the law. And then the system only will tell you how much additional cash is required to be deposited by you. By creating a challan, the money first gets deposited into the electronic cash ledger on the GST portal, and by then posting the same to the credit ledger, the money goes to the government treasury. But unless and until you file your return, your GSTR 3B compliance is not completed. And this filing of return can happen either through EVC for an individual assessee or through a digital signature for anybody other than an individual.